everybody. Welcome to another stream here on Adobe Live. We're here today with Renee. Hi, Renee. Introduce yourself. Say hi to everyone in chat. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Renee Cherry. I used to work for Adobe, but I'm taking a little bit of a creative break, and so I'm super excited to be here creating live with my good buddy Andrew.
Yay, it's gonna be so fun. Hi, everyone. If you are coming over from our Discord, our Firefly Discord, leave us a little purple heart emoji in the chat, and we can know. We also would love to see your feedback, your questions, your ideas in the chat today. So let us know where you're watching from, leave us that little heart, and give us your ideas and your feedback. All right, I'm so excited about what we're creating today. Let's tell chat what we're creating today, and chat, hopefully you can relate to us a little bit.
Okay, so we're going to make a rave flyer, and we're talking parties, we're talking 90s, we're talking 1990, we're talking drum and bass, we're talking techno, we're talking deep house. We are going to make a rave poster. I'm going to have Andrew work on Firefly, and he's going to generate some images, and then I will put it all together here in Photoshop.
Yes.
And I may not look like the kind of person who went to a party in the 90s, but I did. My first party was 1998.
Okay, that's a good year for going to party, yeah.
Yes. So late 90s for me. It was Christmas Day, and the party was called Jesus is an Alien.
Love that, okay.
And so as you run around, there were people dressed up like Jesus, and everybody was going, happy birthday, and giving them hugs, and it was amazing.
That sounds like a good time.
It was a good time, and I actually have some pieces of candy. So this, you see how it's fallen apart here?
Yes.
Yeah, this is an old piece of candy. I don't even remember when I don't know who or what or whenever I got this, but I do have a nice one here, and it says Plur on it. And I'd like to give it to you.
Yay! My first candy.
Yeah, put that on.
Are we
ready to party?
All right, we're ready, chat. We are ready to party. We are candied up and ready to go. There are a lot of people here from Discord. Look at all those purple hearts. We love you. If you haven't joined our Discord, you can do that. Our moderator will put a link over in the chat. And hi, Annika's here. All right, so I want to hop over to my screen real quick because I want to show everyone how to get in and how to download some of the stuff that we'll be working on today. There was a huge update for Photoshop yesterday. We got gradients, we got adjustment presets, we got the contextual taskbar, we also got generative fill. So all you need to do is come in here and you're going to go to updates and then click on check for updates. So if you want to get access to generative fill and use that, you can grab that in the beta app by clicking on the beta over here and then downloading right here. It is only available to, I believe, 18 and over, and I believe maybe not enterprise accounts. Don't quote me on that, chat. Moderator, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But go download it, play around with it, and let us know what you can create. And if you don't want to create there, you can always create firefly.adobe.com because it's open to everyone now, right?
That's awesome.
We went from being like the like warehouse rave into like the full EDC.
Yeah, it's total EDC now. And yeah, those warehouse raves were serious. We're gonna talk about that.
General admission.
Now, before we even get into that, we do need some names, some ideas for names.
Yes.
So if you have ideas for DJ names or a party name, because we're gonna make this fake flyer, right? So please drop them into the chat, and I'm gonna ask Andrew to keep an eye on that.
I will.
And we just might use your DJ name. We also need a rave company, and I'll talk about that too, because there's all this drama and politics behind like what companies threw parties and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, we've got cool stuff. Yeah.
All right. So yes, give us our name of the rave as well as some of the DJ names, and let's hop over and look at the file and kind of hop to your screen to tell us a little bit about where we're going to be.
Okay, so this is a very basic sort of layout, but I want to talk you through how I made it, and you can see here's what we're looking for. We're looking for names that we can just put in here so that we can make them all sweet with some fun text. What I want to tell you is that I started this file. You can start your own file just like this by going to New, and I just used the letter preset because we're going down to the Circle K, and we're using the printer at the Circle K to print off these flyers, right? You know what I mean? So we're just doing regular letter size.
Okay.
But once I did that, you know how a regular letter is like 8.5 by 11 or whatever?
Yes.
Do you want to do math? Because I don't want to do math. What's half of 8? Like 8.5? What's half of 8.5? I don't freaking know. And so if you actually look, let's make sure that you've got your your view. You want to turn on your rulers, right?
Yep.
And if this was set to inches, you'd see 8. But if you notice up at the top here, I've got 0 to 100 because I have changed my file to %. So you do that under grids and guides. I want to show you that's in settings, general.
Okay.
Grids and guides. Oh, units and rulers. In units and rulers, you set it to %, and then you don't have to worry about math because I know 50% is half in my screen, either up or down, it'll be 50%. And that's one of the biggest tips that I love when I'm designing. So you'll see, I already started, I'm halfway here, and I'm halfway up. So I know where the middle of my flyer is. And then I also put one at 25 and 75 too. So I have it all put into thirds. And of course around the edge, this is my bleed. So I'm not gonna even worry about, putting anything special in there. So all my text is gonna fit inside of that bleed. And I've just, if you wanna make your own guide, I'm sorry, I didn't even say that. All you gotta do is select your ruler and pull off, and you see how it made me a new guide, just like that. And that's how I set up all these beautiful guides, so I knew my design was gonna be sweet and grid-based and not be all funky, with like party name out in the middle or something like that, right? So that's not like or something.
Yes, so I hate doing math as well. Something that you can do if you want to flip over to my screen, this doesn't work for guides, but this works for creating shapes.
Ooh.
So let's say that I want to create a shape that is 1/3 of this size. All I need to do is grab my rectangle tool over here, and I click, and then from here, I can type in, and you'll see that it's in pixels right now, so check this out. I can go 8.5 inches divided by 3.
You can do math?
And then do inches, and it should, yes, give me the math there. So you can do math in pretty much any dialog box and I don't think people know that at all. But you can do math in the dialog boxes, and it will find the exact right thing for you. And you can do inches, you can do pixels, you can change to whatever format you want. And so if I do 8 height, what is it, 11 inches? Yeah. I can go ahead and hit enter, and look at that. It has made my object, and it has made it the exact 1/3 of this canvas.
That's amazing.
So you can do math. You just said math, and I was like, I know that you can do it. You can't do it with guides because I don't think that you can bring up a dialog box for guides.
Oh, no, you can't, can you? And change that.
I don't think so, but anyway,
No.
So you can do that math. You can do it right there. Okay, let's go back to your screen and let's start working. We got distracted by math.
It's really cool, but I mean, these are the kind of things that are gonna help you become a better designer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we gotta think about our party name, we gotta think about our fonts, we gotta think about our theme. That's what we're working on. Now, I had come up with this idea of like spice because I love Dune.
Yes.
And space and spice, so I had out of spice.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, out of spice. And if nobody has anything better, which I don't see anything yet.
There are some great DJ names.
I love the
Rave
DJ
name,
names.
Ooh, Discfly for our Discord friends that are in here. That's
I
think
Discfly.
Discfly feels like a DJ name.
Yes.
Like Discfly for sure feels like a DJ name. We've got DJ Pixel Pusher.
Pixel Pusher.
Love that. Bass Bubbles.
That's so
Bass
good.
Bubbles. Yeah, just imagine like a bubble that you pop it and it goes like, like every time it pops.
Bass bubble.
Great. Firewoman. Love this.
Bubbles. I can't spell, guys.
So fun. And some people asking about seeing what's coming for Firefly. If you go to firefly.adobe.com, and I don't see Adobe do this a lot, they give you like a roadmap of things that they're working on. You get to see a preview of things that are currently being worked on, ideas that are being explored. You can see the options, and there's a lot of different panels. And if the panel is not active, it's something that is being worked on, being explored. And you can see there, firefly.adobe.com. You can see all of that funness.
So all I'm doing is I'm just putting in your names that the chat has generously given to us. And I selected them all, and I'm just making them a little bit smaller because all I'm trying to do is like get a layout right now. We're gonna start adding cool fonts and cool colors, and we're gonna get really cool generated images from my dear generative AI madman over here.
Madman, I'm ready.
It's been his whole deal for the last couple days, right? The last week.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
DJ Genfly, I love that.
I like that as well. And then maybe let's just have it be that for, because I feel like when I look at this, I do like the layout, but I feel like it would look better with 5 names instead of 6, because you know how it's kind of samey same having 6 there?
Yes.
So let's actually just grab DJ name 4 and 5, and let's move them over. And it's easy to center because I set everything up, right? So I know I've already set up my names to be centered like this, and they're just gonna be like nice and balanced like that.
And this looks really bad right now, but if you are a creative and you get to this point and you're like, I don't know how it's gonna look, it's gonna take forever, just keep going. This is the part of the process that you're like, it's gonna look bad until it looks good, and then suddenly it looks good.
Yes.
Um,
And it's just a template. I just wanted to set it up, and if you're out there designing, give you something to start from.
yeah, so let's start hopping in maybe with fonts. Where do we want to start? There's
I would
fonts,
love to.
imagery, and colors are really the big three that we want to look at here. So let's
Do we want to generate out of space, out of the...
yes, let's do it.
Let's see what, and while you're doing that, I'll go over here and I'll show off some of my favorite fonts. So I do have some of my favorite fonts that I feel like are very spacey, and I'm actually just gonna pull this out and make it bigger so that we've got more room here. Good Times is a nice one that I like. It's very funky. I've also got this really fun sort of pixel-based one. What do we think? We think a pixel-based style, or do we want space, like Space Invaders? Is that good?
I feel like we could do like a. I like the Dune Zone that you're heading to.
Dune Zone. Okay, this is literally a Dune font, which may or may not be available to me to use. Maybe let's try something else. Let's see, what do we have? I've got this one, which is pretty sweet, actually.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That feels so 90s rave.
It does, it does. And you know what? You don't have to use a font just the way it is. I hope that you know this. You can actually sort of twist the font and do some fun stuff with it over here in the character panel. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select all this, and let's actually we're gonna make it weird.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Just in the 90s, there were no rules for designs. You could do whatever you wanted.
No.
Thanks, David Carson.
No.
So yes, we're gonna do this all kinds of wrong.
Yes.
And it's gonna be fun. Yes, all your base are belong to us.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, that's exactly the vibe that we're going for. And actually, really quickly, while we're talking about this, I do want to show you guys some old flyers that I pulled up. So these are the kind of vibes that we're going for. Like, here's an old flyer. This is from, I think, 2000 when I looked at it. Here's another one, 1997. Like, this is the vibe that we're going for. By the end of this, you're gonna have something really cool. And now, let me point out that this is a die-cut flyer for this party. When there was a die-cut flyer, you know it was gonna be a good party because they spent a lot of coin.
Yes.
Not us, we're going down to the Circle K and we're printing our flyers out.
And Dave R is saying, is it too late to be on the flyer? I'm a DJ now too. If you're a DJ, we gotta get you on the flyer.
All right, all right. Maybe between Genfly and Discfly, who's got to go to get Daver on there?
I think Discfly's got to go.
Okay,
sorry,
Daver, I think you're the headliner. So
sorry
we're gonna
about
do
that.
Daver, right?
Daver, got it.
Okay, great. Alrighty, so I want to talk about a rave company. We need a rave company name. A rave company those are the promoters and the producers who put it together. So maybe Community, Adobe Community.
Yes.
Abdicumed.
Abdicumed.
I know, I'm trying to come up with something that's we could stick it together. Adobe Kami.
Love it.
Adobe Kami? No.
No, that's no.
Adobe Community.
I mean, Adobe Live isn't bad for an event. Just calling it Adobe Live Presents.
ACL is like a muscle in your arm. Adobe Community, yeah.
ALC, Adobe Live Community?
Live Community.
Yes. Yeah, something like that.
Adobe Live. And we'll just do Adobe Live Presents out of space. That'll work fine. Because you knew you were going to a good party if the promoter was somebody that you already knew or a party you'd already been to. Because people would throw these things fly by night, you know what I mean? It would be anywhere. Sometimes there wouldn't be a proper permit.
Yes.
We're not talking about EDC.
Oh, no, it just happens.
We're talking about my buddy owns a roller skating rink, and so we're just gonna do this and hope the cops don't show up.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, that's what happens. All right, so date and time then? When are we gonna do this party, actually?
Okay, here's the thing. I want it to be at 7 p.m. to 10. That's my rave zone. I bought tickets to see Steve Aoki. And I got there, and they said he was going on at 1 a.m., and I said, thank you so much. I'm going to go have dinner and go to sleep. And I did not see Steve Aoki that night. So I would love to go to a rave at 7 p.m., and that would make me so happy. And while you type those in and get some font set, let's hop over into Adobe Firefly on my screen. If you have not used it, firefly.adobe.com, you can generate text to image right there. And what we're going to do is we are going to do desert in space with people dancing and planets in the background. Yes. And then since we want those 90s vibes, I'm going to try this to see what happens. Low polygon 3D render. Because I want it to like look crappy. So I'm interested to see what happens here.
Low poly, that's so smart.
We do want to do portrait because of the paper that we're using.
Okay.
I'm so interested to see what it's going to do with low poly. Yes, old people rave times, 100%. Oh, okay. Like, this is kind of fun. Like, it's definitely hit some 90s vibes, especially here. Okay, I like this. I don't want people dancing, I think. I think we just want, like, maybe a general,
agree.
like...
It looks like ice cream, too.
It does. Okay, so...
This is good.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. I literally typed in dessert in space. That's why it looks like ice cream. Oh,
That's okay.
I love it. I love it.
This is a food rave.
That's a food. Okay, desert in space. Here we go. Oh my goodness. That's why typing and spelling is important, y'all. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, there we go. Okay, low poly. Okay, this is 90s vibe right there.
Oh, that's really good.
This is giving me like Trapper Keeper, like cover.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to go here and click on Generative Fill because I wanna put an extra little element in here. So I'm gonna go to Generative Fill. And then what I want to do is I'm going to turn one of these planets into just like a chrome orb, right? Like floating orbs feels very like ravey, especially chrome stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to type in chrome orb here. And I'm actually interested to see if this is going to reflect. And someone is saying make it more neon. I kind of agree, but at this point we're here. Oh yeah, that's the 90s right there. I need more of those, whatever that is.
That is really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do a bunch of these chrome orbs because that looks really cool.
The chrome orb is excellent.
And what's cool with Generative Fill is you can actually just put in a bunch of different zones and it should fill all of these with chrome orbs.
Really? I haven't used the Generative Fill yet, so this is new to me.
Let's see what happens. It's like pinball in the sky. Yes, welcome to the 90s. Welcome to design in the 90s. It's pinball in the sky.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. It generated one. Okay, let's just do them separate. I think that would probably look better if I just do them separate. And so all I need to do is click clear right here, and boom, done. All right, so we're gonna do this. And I'm going to do a chrome orb there. And then I'm gonna do like a low polygon, or like a lightning bolt, I feel like is a thing.
Lightning bolt would be good. Or a little alien guy. Can you turn one of the people into an alien?
Let's see what happens, why not? So I'm going to keep that one, and then I'm going to click here, and we are going to try to turn this person in the foreground into an alien. All right, so we're selecting all this space, and then we're going to type in, let's do a low polygon alien.
Nice. Definitely low polygon.
Glowing neon. See what happens here. Generate into this space, and let's see what happens. And yes, the chrome reflection with the overblown white, yeah, absolutely. All right, a lot like a person here. Okay, we got some more color on an alien. Ooh, I kind of like the color alien being in here.
Because it doesn't make any sense at all to me. And that's proper. That is a proper Rave flyer if it makes no sense. If the art is just like, what is going on?
Yes.
Like, that's exactly what we're going for. So I like him.
Very much agree. We're gonna do one more here. And I'm just gonna do like a very like big lightning bolt.
Okay.
I think. Okay, and let's do 3D shining lightning bolt. Let's see what happens. This is getting very chaotically 90s, and I love it.
I'm over here doing my fonts. Here, I'll make sure you guys can see it. So I'm just picking different fonts. I do want to point out that I'm doing different fonts for each of the DJ names because that's just a thing you would see on flyers back then. Each DJ had their own like weird font. And so, although I would not suggest this in other design realms, this is what's gonna make it look like a real flyer, is having these weird sort of, and I'm actually gonna play around with this a little bit more. I'm probably gonna make some of the letters bigger than the others just to give it that like, that total vibe. Maybe not on Daver, but let's do on Pixel Pusher. I think I wanna make Pixel bigger. So what I'm gonna do is I've added a return break here, and I'm just gonna make that text a little bit bigger. But what I want them to do is I want them to be in line, right? And you see it's actually not exactly in line there. There's something going on. Now, normally, if I ran into this and I wanted to perfect this logo and make it all nice, I'd be going to Illustrator. But we're not going to Illustrator today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fake it. I'm gonna pull the text size down a little bit. So instead of 22, let's just try 20. And you can see that, my P is still kind of like hanging out there all weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out the spacing a little bit and see if I can kind of get it out there. Oh, it's still kind of too big. Now I might try to cheat this L. And I know that this is not the most exciting thing to watch, and yet, this is what I would be doing if I was trying to design this in Photoshop. If we were in Illustrator, I'd be able to get in there and really tweak the actual vector points, and maybe that's what we're gonna do. But for this is gonna be fine. And I'm also gonna maybe add a space there, and now Pixel Pusher looks pretty good. Now that looks all right to me. I like it, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like that. Base bubbles I like, Firewoman I like, except I kinda want caps, I think. I think it's in, I had it in all caps, so let's turn it back to normal. Or is it? Let's see. No, let's do 2. Let's do 2 for Firewoman, and let's do the same thing I did with Pixel Pusher, where I'm gonna make fire bigger. I'm gonna go all the way up, and we're gonna get something sort of interesting. But let's instead change the woman to be like italics, give it that extra little 90s rave vibe.
Yes.
You gotta make it like that. What?
Yeah, we're going.
You don't even know what's going on his screen.
Yeah, I've been taking. We have like a nice little split screen here. So I've been taking suggestions from chat. Chat has been throwing things in there, and yes, I have been listening. A Vandal said a giant hand coming down from the sky, and I was like, yes, 90s poster, 100%. And then I thought, what if it was like holding like a record? And so I put this in, and you can actually see as I cycle through these, it's adding this shadow to the hand, which I think is really interesting. And if I don't like any of these, I can click on more, and it will generate it will generate additional options for me. And so it said we lost Andrew in the generative fill world, and yeah, we did. I was gone.
Okay, but what I love is I love this hand because I already know where I want to put it. I want that hand to show up right here under out of spice. So that's perfect. So that
do you
record,
want nothing record?
No, I think the record is good because it can be under the out of spice. No, I think that'll be perfect. And even if, why don't you give me both maybe, and then we'll see what happens with both.
Yeah, I'll download this one, and then I'm gonna put the record a little bit lower, knowing that you're gonna put the text there. I'll just put the record lower in the hand there.
Yeah. And we'll play around with both options. We'll see what happens. All right, let me see. Let me make sure I got everything on here that I need. I think I've got everything on here that I need for our Rave flyer. Let's pull this in. What's going on with you? You're being silly. I'm gonna tighten up some of my names, my DJ names.
DJs.
Yeah, DJ Ginfly.
DJ Gin. See, I'm so used to streaming from home where I have my microphone, and that would have been a moment that I would have pulled my microphone all the way in and done the radio like DJ microphone.
You could just grab it. It's up here.
Yep.
Okay, let's make this a little smaller.
All right, so we're gonna do. I want it to be chrome. I want it to be chrome.
Then make it chrome. Then make it chrome. Go with your heart. Go with your heart. Plur.
Go on this journey with me.
Yes.
Plur. Wait, what does plur mean? What does plur mean? Chat.
This child doesn't even know what plur means. Peace.
Peace.
Love.
Love.
Unity.
Unity.
Respect.
Respect. I love that. Plur.
That's what the whole rave community is supposed to be about.
Okay, I love that. I know purr, but I don't know what the L in there.
Purr?
Purr's different. Like if somebody does something and you're like purr. Like it's like a means of saying like work. It's the same as work. is saying like purr.
Oh,
Okay.
like work.
Yes, exactly like that, but you say purr. Okay, and yes, we got the CD in there. I think this is looking good. So I'm gonna do that.
Good.
Chat,
You're doing a great job.
do we want to add anything else into here? And again, I'm thinking through where you're going to put your text, right? So we've got some text going on up here. We've got some names, and we might need to get some extra space down here at the bottom.
No, you could, or I could bring in different sort of effects of like fills and like shadows. And so I've got some text stuff that I can do with layer styles.
Oh, yes, which in my designer brain is like, we can't just add a drop shadow on it, but then we're in the
This is
90s,
the
and so we're
90s.
like, hit
This is
that
the-
drop shadow.
That's right. We're going to create bubble text. We're going to do glass effects. Who
Yes.
cares? This shit's brand new. It's 1995.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, someone
absolutely.
said Space Dog. Yeah. I mean, why would we not have a Space Dog?
Exactly. Let's do Space Dog. And you could even bring the Space Dog as a separate piece, and I could maybe cut it out. I could use, so you don't have to.
Oh, let's do that. Yeah, okay.
You don't have to make this one image perfect.
Love it. Okay, so we're just going to download this.
Okay.
Looks good to me.
Okay. Okay.
And then as you work there, I'm going to go into text to image, and this is where we're going to generate our Space Dog.
Okay,
And I do love the like low polygon vibe. Low, which is something that I hadn't explored before. Low poly, astronaut dog. I want it to be, what's the dog that's the Doge dog?
Oh.
Chat, what's the name, what's the like version of that? Shibu.
Oh, Shiba.
Shiba.
Inu. Yeah. I thought you wanted her actual name.
Got
which,
it.
Which
Oh.
I am aware of, but I don't remember right now. She's got a real name. She's a little dog in Japan. There's like a documentary about her right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. No, I'm sorry, you saved that, but do I have access to that?
I will
Okay.
send it to you right
Thank
now,
you,
yes.
Thank you.
Ooh. Okay. I like this one. I think that I want like even less polygon. Very low poly. Let's see what happens here. Shiba Inu. Yes, thank you. All right, let's see. Okay, I like this little squatty boy.
I like it too.
Little squatty boy.
I like it.
Okay, so what's cool is I can come in here and I can go to generative fill. And I can just click right here on background, and it's going to take away that background. And now we have our sweet little man. Chat, he needs a name. And I'm just going to hit download, and I'm going to grab these real quick as well. All right, so let's hop over to Renee's screen. Renee, I am going to send you these files.
That sounds
and so
great.
you can work away. I am
Okay.
not going to leak your email, which is for me.
Sounds
So
good. Sounds good.
hop over there.
Yes.
There we go. All right, here we go.
I'm going to show you something called layer effects. So maybe you've seen these, or maybe you've been told never to use these. They're still useful. There are still reasons to use layer effects. But in the 90s, they were brand new, and so that's why you saw a lot of beveled, silly, drop shadowy craziness. So let's go ahead and I've got my layers down here in the corner. I'm actually literally living over my layers, aren't I? Let me pull this out so you guys can see it. There we go, that's better, isn't it? Now, you'll see that each text is on its own layer. I've got all my DJ names, I've got the bottom text, I've got everything in the party title. If I double click on a layer, it'll open up the layer style panel. This gives me a lot of options on how to make my text crazy. The first thing I'm gonna do is do just a regular color overlay. No, let's do a gradient overlay, cause come on, let's go all the way. And I've got all these colors to pick from. Now I have no idea how it's gonna look with your background, so I might make different choices. But so far I like that. So we got a gradient overlay on my text. We're gonna bevel and emboss this text. And as you can see, all I'm doing is clicking on these different panel options, and then you're tweaking all of it over here to get your desired effect. I want this to be nice and bulgy. I think I want like that kind of emboss, like pillow emboss.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
The effects
right?
that everyone's like, oh yeah, don't use those in Photoshop. We're like, no, this is the perfect place to use them in Photoshop.
This is exactly when you want to do it. Sorry, I want to just see what these options are. I'm kind of the kind of person who has to click on everything to see what it's going to look like. No, I liked the pillow emboss, but I liked it a little bit smaller, about that size. And then I'm gonna change the gloss contour, which is gonna make it look sort of shimmery. And we're gonna get something like this.
Yep, yes, 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 yes.
I actually like this one, but I'm gonna pull the light around, and as I pull the light around, you see how it's got a different effect. So literally Photoshop is in here pretending like this is made out of glass and reflecting light on it. I like something like that, so let's do this. I think I want the highlight to be a different color. So I'm gonna click in this and I'm gonna change it. And you can see it's actually changing that white, just something with a little bit more of a tint in it. And I honestly prefer that. I don't think white light is a good idea to use even when you're drawing or painting. Like,
never.
No, let's not use that. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the multiply down here, which is the shadow, right? The shadow is set on multiply mode, which means it's gonna multiply over these colors. Therefore, if I use a color, it'll only be more beautiful. So let's go ahead and select something like a dark blue or a purple for that. Yeah, I like that. And I'm gonna turn up the opacity on both of these so that they're nice. Ooh, maybe not that one, maybe not that one. And now we're gonna do this kind of treatment to every piece of text.
Okay.
All of it around here.
All of it everywhere.
So let me open up my email. I'm gonna get that background and we're gonna start.
Okay, so let's hop back over here. And someone said, yes, Dave. He looks like Dave the Doggo Rave. I love that. Yes. I love that. A dog rave is a Dave, 100%. And someone in chat is asking for a prompt, and guess what we do here on Thursdays? We do your prompts. Also, Firefly is available to everyone now, so you can go to firefly.adobe.com and try your own, but we're gonna do 3D abstract. Did I spell that right? Yes. Abstract with forms, made of gold and platinum. I'm excited about that. Let's see what happens here. So doing abstract shapes with materials always has really freaking cool results.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are really cool.
That makes me want to change everything.
That's really cool. Oh, no. We are going in the correct direction with where we're going right now. But I am curious to see if I add some of these other styles on here, that if we're doing synthwave, if it's gonna give us that like blue and pink lighting on the gold. Oh yeah, cool. And I want this to be a car now. So 3D
I want this to be a car now.
Render with forms of gold and platinum in a neon cityscape. And chat, we're here for you. If you want us to generate anything to show what's up, you can put it in chat. Let us know as we create our 90s rave poster.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
let's. Oh my gosh.
Whoa, holy crap.
There's a lot happening here.
I love that.
That's really cool. Okay, back to your screen. We've taken a hard left from the last time you guys saw Renee's screen.
Okay, so I've got our background in here, and you see what I'm working up, right? And I actually feel like I want this text to kind of come down a little bit more, so I'm gonna stretch that text even more. And I'm just being really organic with this design because I know that Rave flyers are crazy, right? So I'm gonna grab this. I am right-clicking, and then I'm using my layer names to grab everything and move them around. Do you guys know that little trick? So you right-click, and then Photoshop will show you a list of everything that's underneath your mouse. And then because I named my layers, I know Out of Spice is my actual Out of Spice Rave flyer name. So I'm gonna move that down. Do you know that? Right-click, and then
I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Yeah, and so it's really helpful whenever you got a bunch of stuff on the screen and you want to pick stuff out. So I don't like 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. here because I feel like featuring should be there more than that. So I'm gonna actually decide. Oops, don't mean to move around my guide. I'm actually gonna pull that down to the bottom, and we'll worry about that later because I feel like we need the featuring and then the DJ names.
I agree. And if we want to go side by side, I want to show you all as you continue to work on that. I want to show you. My favorite thing is when you do chrome and reflective things, look at how when it generated this object, it's picking up the reflection of the object. That's what always gets me, is it like takes into account the environment that it's around. And you can see it's reflecting the sky that's blue and then the ground that is this kind of red here. And so if you were in the Photoshop beta, you can continue to work. And someone's asking, where's the record? Let's see if we can put the record in here.
Yeah.
And like we said on the last stream, y'all are going wild with generative fill. So this may or may not work currently. Today has been very, very heavy on the system. So we're going to do generative fill, and I'm going to type in here a vinyl record. And let's see what happens. Everyone cross your fingers. Say a prayer to Adobe Sensei and see if we can get this.
I love that.
All right, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. We did it. Okay, it's generated. So it generates right here in Photoshop, and then we can cycle through 3 different options.
Nice.
So you can see whatever options you want. And as you can see, it's a little bit small, and that's because my selection is small. So it will fill whatever space your selection is. So if you're making a big record, you want to make sure that you make a large enough selection within the image. So let's do Chrome vinyl record. There we go. My text is so small, you guys. You don't understand. Teeny tiny.
It is really small.
Yep. Oh, what's the? Oh man, I said teeny tiny, and I couldn't remember. It's like a movie that says that, and I can't remember what it is. Okay, so you can see that it's now floating in that space, which is pretty cool.
It looks amazing.
Renee, the amount of type that's happening and the drop shadows and the image altogether, this is creating something very special.
It's definitely special. It's definitely special. If you want to take a look, I'll show you a little bit about what I'm doing. I'll try to zoom in so that you guys can really see. So I am adding all of these in text effects, and you can see it here in the layer stack. So here we have Daver, right? And Daver I chose this super thin font for, so I knew to stand out against the background it was gonna need something. And so I used a stroke, and you see that actually right here in my layer stack, and I can hide that really quickly. And you can see how thin it looks without that stroke, right? Or the color overlay, right? Because all the text that we started with was black. So I've actually done a color overlay to sort of make that pop. Same over here with Pixel Pusher, where I've added a gradient and then I've added an outer glow. Now I do like the way this is working, but I'm probably not gonna leave it this way. So I do just wanna let you guys know, I'll probably make a new layer over here, and then I'll pull this layer underneath all my DJ names, and I'm just gonna do like a gradient in the middle of the screen and see what happens.
Yes.
Just to separate that a little bit. And this is a graphic design cheat I use all the time. Just little gradients all over the place, maybe even a blur. I don't know, but those are the kind of attack plans I have when I'm putting text on images and craziness.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and see what happens if I'm gonna grab a gradient, and I'm gonna do that reflective gradient, this one right here, and I'm on my new layer, and so I'm just, oops, that's too much, isn't it? Let's do, what's going on here? It looks like I don't actually ever go to 0, so it's this guy, that's the opacity. Let's do that 0, and then let's see what we got. Not enough fall off, right? Let's do that, and then let's try this gradient again. So this is the kind of style that I'm looking for. I won't leave it straight black though. I'm gonna change it to a color. I'm gonna use a blending mode. I'm gonna do something to kind of seed it, but you see how the text pops immediately. And you do want your Rave flyer readable because people gotta get to your party, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And someone asking, the version of Photoshop that you can generate fills isn't available yet. Yes, it is. It's in beta though. So it is Photoshop beta. And if you want to go to the Creative Cloud app, over on the left, you can see where the Photoshop beta is available for download. You can download it and you can play around with it today. None of the results are for commercial use though. So you can play around, post on social media, and use hashtag Adobe Firefly to show us what you're creating. And this is, I like that you're incorporating your gradients to like give it a little bit of extra zhuzh that's not just a gradient on the image.
No, you have to kind of do that. And I'm working back and forth. I'm trying to decide how I really want this to be. One thing I do know I want to do, I want to try to grab that hand out of the gradients and have it out coming through the gradients.
Oh, very easy.
Yeah,
very easy on this background.
Exactly. So but I can do that with select subject, right?
Yeah, so you could do object select, you could do you could do a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, right? Can I get that out?
That's
No.
gonna be right.
Come on, let's get this out. Well, maybe I don't need to worry about that
I'd
level
actually
of
be
fidelity. That level of fidelity.
I was gonna say, it can be bad. Like, that's the fun thing about this, especially with this style, is like, it can be like super messed up.
It doesn't
would
have to be
just
good.
Fine.
Let's try that really quickly.
Oh yeah, so I'm trying to use, object selection tool, and it is picking up like extra pieces that I don't want.
Okay.
And so that doing a little bit of manual might actually be the way to go.
All right. Let me get out of mask mode here. No, what I want to do is I want to select. If I click into it with Alt, Option. No, right? How do I select the mask? Why can't I?
Oh, just click.
Just click?
Yep. And then paint in and out?
No, what I want to do is load it as a selection so that I can add it to this guy as well.
Oh, yeah. It is all Alt or Option click.
Right? It should be.
Yeah, and it comes up with a
working.
little...
Yeah.
Where are we? I'm on a PC. Mine is Option. Are you on Mac?
I'm on Mac. Is
Try
it Control click?
Command.
Command.
There it is, yep.
You total hero. Thank
Yes.
you.
I am working on a MacBook with a PC keyboard, so just know if a hotkey is not working, it's because my fingers don't understand.
There we go. You see what I was conscripting up? We got
Yes.
this hand coming down.
Reaching from space.
You know, it makes me feel like Pixel Pusher might be the headliner. I'm sorry, Daver. I'm not sure that you're
Sorry,
the
Daver.
headliner
We love you, though.
anymore.
We really do.
We really love you, but I feel like they might be the one. So let's go ahead and like maybe put them up a little bit in the hand because I'm feeling like it needs to be like that.
Pixel Pusher. I agree. I agree. Yeah, the big boom.
Okay.
We're all Pixel Pushers
All right,
here.
we are. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep Genfly and the other ones to the side because you know it's a Rave flyer. It's not gonna be perfect. So it's gonna be like crazy biz here. So now it's looking like. Let me add colors to these so you guys can see them. But now it's looking like we have sort of a star configuration with our names. Let's grab all of these and turn them into not black. But I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other pieces where I'm going to do a crazy sort of gradient or we're going to do some sort of glow. But I want you to be able to see that against this back.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And Daver's okay with it. Okay, not expected to be the headliner yet, maybe in a year or two. Yeah, your second line, up-and-comer, like still got a fan base.
Yeah.
You're doing fine.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Let's move these guys around and I'm going to get this sort of star configuration that I feel like is going to like really work for our... just for the way that things are. Okay, cool. Let's add some more text effects. We're gonna do it on base bubbles. Base bubbles, I feel like, gosh, what do we got? We got like this pale yellow. Let's bring this pale yellow in to base bubbles. Let's go ahead and grab that. And I'm gonna grab the same color. And we'll make it a little bit more cute by adding a glow. And not that overlay. We're gonna do satin, inner glow, inner shadow. Yeah.
And if we want to pop over here, someone is suggesting add some smoke, says Inquisitive. And what's really cool is I'm in the Photoshop beta, and if I want to generate smoke, here's the best way that I've found using generative fill, is I can click and drag out like a big oval and do it on a black layer. And the reason we're doing it on a black layer is because we're gonna use a screen blending mode to get that smoke to really like come in and work in. So we're gonna go and generate, and I'm going to do fog smoke. Hit generate, and it's going to take that black layer and use it as the reference. So it's putting only black and then the smoke on top of that black. So there's nothing else to reference it, so it's going to put it just directly on black. You cannot render or generate on a blank background or transparent background. Let's do, what's the word for like see-through?
Transparent?
Wispy, yes, thank you.
Wispy? Yes, wispy's a good one.
Transparent. And so if I want to change the prompt, you can very easily change the prompt by just typing in a new prompt, and it will update that for you. So it's updating it here, and then we are going to cycle through our options, find the best one. Okay. All right, cool. So what I can do now, and for those of you, a lot of people have asked, can you generate on transparent backgrounds? Not a good idea. So if I turn this off, you can see that it actually is generating black around it. So it will generate on your entire selection, not just the piece. So
be careful if that's what you want.
Be very careful. So I'm gonna put this on here, and then again, all we need to do is change the blend mode to screen right here. And now we've got some like wispy cloud vibes.
Love it. I love it. Are you going to send me that? Because I will use
Oh, yeah, I'll
that.
totally send you that.
Okay,
100%.
send me that.
All right, let's hop back over and see what you're doing because there's more insanity happening.
Yes, so I'm just making sure that Firewoman has like a Firewoman vibe around her name. So we are definitely giving her sort of this double glow. And what I've done with the double glow is if you go into it, I'm using the outer glow tool, but down here under the contour, that's how I got that double sort of stacked look, right? Now that I've changed the color, I'm not sure, I might want something a little bit different. Yes, actually, I think that's exactly what I want.
I might want something different. Yeah, no, that's right. That's correct.
That feels like what Firewoman's DJ logo would look like, right?
100%, yes.
Okay, cool. So now I'm just doing my last one, which is Genfly, and then we're gonna go ahead and mimic this Adobe Live text. I'm gonna show you how you would duplicate that so that you don't have to do it over and over again. But first, we're just gonna do this. I'm gonna pick, you know what? I think Genfly is gonna be a gradient just like this beautiful silver ball that you created. So let's go ahead and make this look like it's a metallic, beautiful ball. So first, we're gonna do a gradient overlay. You definitely need something that's gradient to get that sort of silver look. And I know we've got some in here already built for us because the lovely people at Photoshop.com, Adobe.com, they made it happen. And that's gonna be in the grays, I think. Or the greens. Actually, I like that green right there. That one's good. I'm going to make sure that the angle is down so that the darker color is at the bottom. And I'm doing that just by adjusting this angle module.
Okay.
I know, I'm like, what do you call it?
Node?
Node. I'm gonna do a bevel and emboss, but I need the depth to be smaller. Do you see how when I do bevel and emboss like that, it's just all messy?
Yes.
It's because it's trying to make it bigger than the text actually is. So we have to pull the depth slider all the way down, and then you'll start to see it, but we don't want an inner. We want like an outer bevel, maybe? No, emboss, let's see. And of course—
Oh, that's feeling very like grunge, like warehouse concrete.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is. And I do kind of want to try to get that same chrome. So stick with me. I'm going to keep working on it. But I do want to point out that you've got this little guy over here. It's not useless. It is showing you what happens. You see how it gets different as I change something? So that if you can't tell what effect is happening to your text, you can always look over at this guy and see how horrible your crazy text effect is working. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that we can see this. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm not really being the best about making sure you can see it. Okay, let's get this to actually have that. Let's do an inner shadow. That's gonna help a little bit with getting that sort of, you know, funky looking glow. We don't want a stroke yet. That's not what I'm looking for. Maybe a color overlay, but I'm gonna do it really light. I should have done this beforehand and made like some sweet metallics. Yeah.
If you're looking for sweet metallics or looking for like awesome neon glows, James White is the best of the best.
Yeah, is that true?
Oh, James White is the best of the best at all that. So Signal Noise is what he goes by online. You can go check out his work. It's all incredible stuff.
Okay, we'll do Signal Noise, huh? Well, I don't know. I've gotten a better looking one before, but I kind of like this anyway. It's not exactly what we were going for, but you know what?
It's very like, it reminds me of the band Lit. It's very like concrete. Like it feels very—
You're right. It's got concrete vibes to it for sure. I'm just gonna make it bigger here.
Yes. The music is very just like it's just that like gritty, like heavy techno.
Okay, cool. We'll do it like that. Okay. Now, I promised you guys I was gonna show you how you could transfer these styles. So let's say we've decided the way that I've done Adobe Live right here is perfect. We love it so much, and we just want the other stupid text like featuring or all the other little stuff, we just want it like that.
Yep.
It's very easy. I'm just gonna roll up to Adobe Live Presents. I'm going to copy the layer style. Where is that in this menu? Right here, copy layer style.
The right click on a layer is the most chaotic menu you can find in Photoshop.
It didn't used to be.
There's a lot going on there.
It didn't used to be. Our boys have been working hard. Our women and men of Photoshop have been working hard to give you so many more options. So we are doing a paste, and everybody of every other gender too. Apologies for leaving anybody out. So now that I have pasted, if I zoom back out, you'll see ta-da! And now let's do that magic down here as well, and paste, Ta-da!
And what you can also do with this is you can put all of these texts into a group and then apply the layer style to that folder. And then everything that you drag into that folder will apply the layer style, which is super nice.
Did not know that.
Oh yeah, it's super fast. I use it all the time for like doing color overlays. And so if you have a really cool style, you can apply it to a folder and then drag that stuff into the folder, and then you can go in and out without having to like manage the look.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, so I have an and more down here that I almost forgot. So let's go ahead and paste that layer style. And more.
And more.
Okay, all right, so it no longer looks like horrible white text, right? We finally got some beautiful artwork. We got these beautiful fonts. We got everything. What's next? Well, what I would do next is I would just start fiddling with the design to make sure half of it's readable, because right now it's like really crazy.
It's a lot.
First thing I'm gonna do is hit Control H,
Okay.
which on my laptop is gonna hide all those sort of lines.
Okay.
So that we can just take in the beauty of what we've created.
There's a
as
lot
it
happening
is. There's a
there.
lot happening. I feel like I want to make sure that the names are readable, that the text is readable. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dive in and I'm just gonna do a couple gradients. I might lighten it up at the top. I might darken it more and like kind of pull those gradients around behind the names. And I'm just gonna reset things a little bit so it's just more readable.
Let's do it. Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna
see. We got
dive
about
in
5
and
minutes
do
left.
that. Yes,
So we can do
exactly.
some gradients and play around with kind of making this readable. It is so 90s. Chat, let us know what you think about this 90s. Did we hit the 90s vibe? Do you feel like you're going to a rave? Is that kind of where you are? I have been living in the 90s. I'm working on a project right now that is very like nostalgia 90s based, and so this is feeling familiar to me at the
Wait,
moment.
did you give me the cloud? You did, didn't you?
I did. I just sent it to you, yeah.
Let me grab that.
So if you want to hop over here, yeah, there we go. Got it. Clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just playing around because I want to see what this looks like in black and white. Because it's not the right answer, but my body wants it to be like grunge. Again, I'm not familiar with rave culture. I just want everything to be grungy and gross.
Right. Let me move this down a little bit. That looks really nice. That cloud really helped my gradients look more natural, and so I do appreciate that you gave me that. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course.
And then I'm gonna do a big ellipse like this, and I'm actually gonna select the inverse, because what I wanna do is I'm gonna do like an opposite vignette. I'm going to fill it with white, and we're gonna make kind of a glow here. And this is just something that I like to do whenever I'm designing stuff, is I play around with different ways to attract attention around what's going on. Let's actually, where do I wanna put this? I guess that's okay. Now I know it looks like crap right now, but give me a second, guys. Let me go ahead and do this. Usually I'll turn my opacity down, and then I will use some sort of blur tool. Let's do it in a filter. Let's get a Gaussian blur on this layer. And then you see how it kind of fades everything out?
Yes.
Yeah, see? And what you're seeing here is you're seeing that like the background was really busy, and now that's helping kind of bring your eye back into the middle. Let's go ahead and try some other stuff. I'm gonna mess with the opacity. I'm gonna play with some blending modes and see what those look like. See if we can get sort of something intense. I really like vivid light. Let's turn this back up.
Sorry, I am here paying attention. I did get like lost. Okay, designers, you know this. You like start to do something and then you like forget where you exist.
Yes,
And then you're
yes,
like, oh,
yes.
okay, I'm here, I'm back.
That does happen, that does happen.
I'm back, chat, back with you here.
Oh my gosh, he's doing some crazy stuff over there.
Well, look, like I put like a gradient map on it that's like just a bunch of like crazy multicolors. And so I want to try to like get more contrast on this. I don't know. It's off the rails, but in a fun way.
Well, that's what we're doing right now, because we're doing this crazy rave poster. So off the rails in a fun way is exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Very true. Let's see what happens here. I'm curious. Okay. All right. Something's happening. Things are going on.
Something's happening.
Oh, that might be the vibe.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I love what you're doing.
But this is like pink. Like a hot pink. Oh, yeah. That's what's up. People in space. And then let's like multiply it down so it's got some like weird. Oh, no. Stop that. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh, it's really wild. I love the print yet digitally. Yeah, it's very Riso. I think that doing a gradient map on noise gives you that very like textured halftone look.
Yes. It does.
Yeah,
It does.
and this is like turned out really weird and fun. How would you resize it from Instagram? You could crop it. You could use generative fill to make it into a square. You could do all kinds of fun stuff. For something like this, for what Renee is working on, this would be a nightmare for Instagram because there's so much work on all the text. If we had done this in Adobe Express, we could have used the resize tool and it would have moved things around a little bit, but doing this for Instagram would be really rough.
So I know we only have like 30 seconds for me to do this, but
Yes.
as a last designer tip, if I actually wanted someone to be able to read this flyer, the first thing I would do is I would add a black and white at the top, and I would just check my values. And this is true of illustrations, this is true of everything. I would just do this. I'm only looking at the black and white values and trying to figure out if things are readable, because if they're not readable in black and white, they're not readable at all. You see Firewoman's a problem already, you can't even read that, and a couple other notes. Just want to let you know, this doesn't look good because it's crazy and we're trying to get that crazy Rave look, but as a designer, this is a tool tip that I think you want to use because you can just hide it real quick and you can do your little adjustments. So.
Magic. All right, so with that, here is what we've created.
Yeah, let me get out of Firewoman. I was going
this
to change it to
day.
a different color, but
Wild.
yeah, it's pretty wild. And maybe, I think I'm going to clean it up a little bit and then I'll send it out to the internet so everybody can enjoy
Internet.
the beauty that we've done.
So cool. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Go play around with the Photoshop beta. Go play around with the Photoshop updates. Create what you want and try to do some 90s fun. Renee, what advice do you have for creatives that are getting creative today?
Just try something new, try something unexpected. Go to a
Yes.
direction you never thought you could, because Firefly can help you kind of think about stuff you wouldn't pick.
Yes, great for brainstorming. So we'll see you again. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you again sometime on Adobe Live. Bye.